Mr. Jax Taylor, where does one begin? Listen, we cover it all with Jax. We sat down with Jax. I find this conversation and all the parts there too so interesting. We sat down with Jax basically before the Valley was announced. He was talking about a show he was pitching. I was like, yeah, right, Jax. We all pitch a show, right? It was the Valley. Who knew? So before Scandival, before the Valley, before his separation from Brittany, we sat down with Jax. Now, I'm going over these videos. I'm going over this chat, and I find it so interesting. These have never before been seen. Well, we're going to share these with you. I find it so interesting looking back because I mean, I also don't think the Valley, no shade, would have been greenlit if it wasn't for Scandival. I've said that before. So this was before all of that. So when Jax was talking about the show he was pitching, I was like, yeah, right. Little did I know, but it's so interesting foreshadowing the Valley. And I mean, just of course, I'm reading into so many things that he says now about his marriage to Brittany, now that they're being separated. I mean, this wasn't that long ago, but this chat supersedes all of that. So, did we see Easter eggs in there? Did we see some foreshadowing? I don't know, but let's listen. Let's see what we can find out. So listen, maybe we'll have a second generation of Vanderpump Rules and Cruz could be.
Yeah,
Listen, we have Summer, we have Cruz, we have Hartford. This could work.
Ocean.
Ocean.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it could be great. And like I said, and it's all about these guys right now. It's all about the kids and watching them grow. It's so cool that everybody can. We all had kids at the same time. So that's again, that's why I miss Stassi and Bo because I want us all the kids to grow up together. I hope we can move past this and so we can get all the kids back in our house every week. I miss it.
I hope so too. Listen, I can't sleep at night tonight if this is the end of Jax Taylor and Stassi Schroeder. So just, what about your own mother? Like you mentioned her here today. Like, where are you guys? I mean, how is that?
Nothing's changed, unfortunately. But it's funny you mentioned that because a couple weeks ago I was mentioning it to my wife, saying, "Listen, I've been thinking again about my mom and how I should entertain this. Again, as people know, my mother and I are not on speaking terms. I stopped talking to my mother the night of my father's funeral, which was 4 years ago. There's a lot of story behind it. A lot of people like to message me and say, how come you don't talk to your mother? That's this. There's a lot that went behind it that people don't know. And I'm not going to get into it on here, what happened, but, my sister and I are no longer talking to my mother. But, she wasn't at my wedding, which sucked. We made the decision not to have her. But now that I have a baby, it's not about me anymore. And she has a grandchild. And my heart aches because at the end of the day, she's still my mother. Yes, we're not on speaking terms. And yes, I don't agree with some of the things that she does. But she has a grandchild that she deserves to meet. And I mentioned it to my wife a couple weeks ago. I'm like, I'm entertaining again, maybe reaching out to my mom and saying, hey, listen, I know we have our beef, but you have a grandchild that you've never met. And I personally think that you should meet him, and I'm bouncing back and forth with it. I would like to do it. I'm trying to figure out how we do it. She lives in Florida. Would I go there? Would it be a lunch thing? Would I have Brittany come to kind of facilitate it? I don't know. I'm bouncing around with different ideas, but I'm not against it. I have to talk it over with my sister and see where she stands because I don't want to go behind her back. We kind of went in this together, but again, like I said, if it was just me and my wife, I would probably just let it go. But I don't want my son to grow up and be like, how come you never tried, Dad? How come you never tried? And I think I would kick myself if he says that to me. Now, if I reach out to her and she doesn't want to respond, then you know what? I tried, but I feel like at this point, after 4 years, and just after seeing the world the way it is, people, you're losing their lives and you're not seeing people and regret. I just feel like I think enough time has passed where maybe we can look past this. Maybe we don't need to be the best. We don't need to be as close as that we once were, but I feel like you should have some kind of relationship with your grandson. And I'll leave it at that.
Has she tried to contact you? Like, does she try?
So, we've gotten a couple random gifts for Cruz, and the address was a little sketch. And so I'm thinking that's where they're coming from. I know my mom's handwriting, and I think she tried to be a little sneaky about it, because I think she wants to meet him too. And she sent him gifts that I got when I was a kid. So I have a feeling that she sent a couple things. I could be wrong, but I don't know. But that's as far as it's gone.
And does Brittany, like, does she say this is great, or she's just like, look, it's, I support you. This is really not up to me.
She supports me 100%. She is kind of with me on the fact that, like, as a parent, I don't understand how you could not want to see your son or your grandson. I can't understand after so long of saying, hey, listen, maybe I screwed up, maybe we both screwed up. I personally think it's the parents should reach out to the child. I don't know, there's no right or wrong answer to this, but I just really feel like that the parents should reach out and be like, hey, I miss you. I don't know. Like I said, there's no right or wrong reason or way to do this, but she's, to answer your question, Brittany is on board with whatever it is that I want to do. She said, I'll be happy whatever you choose to do. So I have an amazing wife in that department where she's on board with whatever, and she'll help me with whatever.
Did you go through like extensive therapy, or this is all just from having a child? Because, like, and is that the biggest misconception about you? Like, what do you think? It's kind of like a two-part question. What do you think people still have wrong when they hear Jax Taylor?
I just don't think I was given a fair, like, see, here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. I was a scumbag human being in the beginning of the first 3 seasons. So I think I pigeonholed myself into such a hole of that guy, that crazy Jax, that I kind of just said, well, you know what? This is what they want. This is how I'm making a paycheck. I'm just going to stay in this role. And that's why I did a lot of stupid shit. And do I regret it? Yeah. I made it entertaining though. I'm not as bad as people like to say, I feel like, I did some stupid shit, but we all do stupid stuff in life. If you learn from it, then it's okay. But if you don't learn from it, then that's a problem. I don't think I was given a fair shot to explain myself. And podcasts are a way to do that. I used to do a lot of TV segments or whatever that, and they would all say, wow, you're such a different person in real life. And you're such a different, because I'm turned off, right? I'm not on right now. I wasn't fully on. I wasn't in an argument with somebody because, as you guys know, Jax Taylor 90% of the time was in an argument with somebody on the cast. You never showed me doing the good things, the charities that I was involved in, the donating and I was involved. They never put anything good that I did on. They never showed any of the dates that I went out with my wife or the heart to hearts, the vulnerability. There was none of that shown. It was all filmed, but all they wanted of me is the attacking, the craziness. They didn't want to see good Jax. They wanted to see destructive Jax. And that's fine. That's part of the show. That's what you want to put on. But I'm not just that human being. And I don't think my friends would have still be my friends. And my wife would have married me if I was that person all the time. I mean, let's be real. If I was that crazy person all the time, I wouldn't want to be my own friend. I had triggers. Definitely had triggers. And I'm learning to cope with them and how to deal with them. But I think age, growth, marriage, a baby helps you grow up.
Yes, and yes, and yes. And it's almost like and this is not a bad thing. It's almost like you knew the job and you became a caricature of yourself, which I think a lot of people do on reality TV. Like, you are making money, you know what they want. You don't even try to do it. It just happened.
It just happened. And I was an easy target. The cast could always know, hey, listen, if something's not happening, we'll just blame Jax, or we'll just yell at Jax, or we'll start a fight with Jax. I was kind of like I don't know what you want to call the scapegoat to a lot. If people felt like they weren't getting a lot of screen time, let's start an argument with Jax, or let's start something with Jax, and that'll spiral out of control, because that's what usually happened. And I think maybe now, now that I think about it, we were talking about, the reason maybe the ratings are a little lower is because they don't have anybody to escape to anymore. You can't just go out and yell at somebody because they know, like, I'll take it, maybe that could be one of the reasons. I don't know. But yeah, I think it's growth, man. And I feel like if you don't grow, then, like I said, there's a problem. There's a problem. I don't have an option. I don't have a option. I don't really have a choice. I have a baby now. I need to be a father figure. I need to be on all the time. I need to see that. My dad was a good dad. My father